Sure, it took almost an entire day, but these crazy kids made it into Mongolia. Yak attack!
Pick a track, any track. We just crossed the Mongolian border, and we're already stuck with the problem that Mongolia always, travelling in Mongolia faces here. Because they don't have any road signs, they haven't got any roads, they just go over the grass, which is really nice, but it makes navigating quite hard. I think we're going for the big one there. Beauty of the Mongolian Alto, and no roads. What on earth are you doing?
Poo! We found a massive pile of poo, which is really exciting because we don't have any gas left, we don't have a stove therefore, so we got nothing to make a cuppa on, but poo, you can burn this stuff. And I'm so excited, I'm getting a bag full of nice dry horse and cow poo.
Horse poo?
No, I get the cow poo too. Cow poo burns longer and stronger and hotter, but you need the horse poo to get it going. Not a whole lot of cow poo to choose from, so I'm going rank on the horse poo. Look at this. Nugget.
Okay, we did actually learn this on a previous trip in Mongolia though, didn't we?
Yeah, we didn't make it up.
We're not bloody idiots here, are we?
No. It works like a charm.
That's what the Mongolians do, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
They actually have massive piles of cow poo outside their gears, and that's what they fuel their stoves with, because where would you get wood in a place like this? Poo! You know what you're looking
So, this is your first dunk fire in 3 years, is it?
Yeah, no, I'm not so good. I gotta take the silly hat off. Not so good, needed a lot of petrol. I used to be really good at these, but anyway, we're gonna get our cup of tea.
These Russian-bound Mongolian tourists found the crazy Westerners pretty funny, and they were pretty into our camcorders too.
So we were just humbly trying to make a fire when an entire busload of Mongolians on their way possibly to the border stopped to see what we were doing and help us make a fire.
Look at this, man. We got the torches.
Oh my god. Oh wow, look at that.
These guys lost all their gears, and with only reverse left, they couldn't make it up the hill, so ended up having to truck it out.
So you got your rescue vehicle, that's awesome. Vegemite, I've not had Vegemite since we left Dublin, so like 3 and a bit months. We met these Aussie guys from the last stand. Anyway, we met these Aussie guys that gave me a tube of Vegemite. Bless their cotton socks. Talk about making my day. So I'm having Vegemite bread for dinner because the horse dung thing that ain't working for cooking.
Never think you're alone in Mongolia. You're always guaranteed at least one visit per camping spot. Check out this crazy family, piled onto one motorbike. They thought we were quite luxurious with one apiece.
Little rocks from back there just turning into these rocks on steroids out here. They're enormous. And the big road just turned into this little track. I brushed on the road.
Okay, so they may not look so big and scary now, but honestly, they were huge. And as quickly as the gargantuan rocks had surfaced, they disappeared, and we were back to beautiful, smooth steppe.
Why are we stopped now then?
After all Bikey's hard work. He's about to get a brand new engine. Woohoo! So, ready folks, we've gone from 99,999.9 kilometres and we're about to hit zero. So
let's
what do you reckon?
Oh man, a brand new engine!
New engine and he deserves it. He's had such a rough time. Yay, Bikey!
What's harder than riding 2 bikes through the back of Mongolia? Riding 1 bike with 2 people. But hey, that didn't stop these Dutchies.
The Dutch contingent of overlanders have met and made happy Dutch... No, none of you talk Dutch. Oh my God, we're gonna die.
Stream crossing number 1. Not so good.
You want to push?
No, not yet.
We did get better at these, I promise.
I'm gonna come give you a push, darling.
It was a rainy evening in outback Mongolia when I discovered my nemesis, the vampire mosquito. Apparently my blood was irresistible.
They're horrible and bloodthirsty and everywhere. And even if you go out into the rain to have a wee or a poo, you get eaten alive, even in the rain. Absolutely miserable.
This bit here is very bumpy. We got a lot of it to go before we even get anywhere. And it's just, this is the best bit. The rest is all more corrugated, but even though it's still pretty bloody bumpy. How do you like this ride?
It's fantastic. It's just like bone breaking, probably. Bone
Nice
shaking.
washboard effect, isn't it?
Yeah, washboard effect. It's lots of fun. So let's see what it does to poor old Bikey, shall we? And that spectacular effort of mine you just saw over the corrugations was at the earth-shattering speed of 30 kilometres an hour, which is way too fast for comfort on this stuff.
Got something to say about this sign?
Occasionally there is one obvious road, and at the moment there is. Even more occasionally there is a direction sign. The first ever speed sign we've seen is out here on a semi-corrugated sandy road. 60. You'd be lucky if you could go 60, but bless them, they don't want you to go any faster.
Between all the belly aching about the rough roads, we still found time to admire the stunning Mongolian horses.
We're trying to get some extra petrol. It's not very good stuff, it's leaded out here, but we're just going to put a few litres in the back.
Just to make sure we can
Just
get
to make
to the
sure we
next
can get
big
to the
town.
next city that has 92. So this is the pump, and the lady lives over there, and it took me a bit to get the lady out of her house to sell me some petrol. But she's coming now, so hopefully she can turn on the pump and we can get some petrol.
Is anything going to happen?
I don't know, I'm confusing.
That's hard yakka, eh?
Well, you know.
With bikey bellies full of fuel, we were ready to go camel chasing.
That would be the meat that we end up eating when we order local food in the Guans. So they make a stir-fried cafe. Sorry, Guans is a roadside cafe. And we stop here for our daily feed because we don't have a stove, so we can't cook. We also... She's mincing.
Cavorting across the open plains, it's easy to miss a stealthily disguised turn-off, at which point you become what's technically known as lost.
I haven't got a protractor with me, so I can't get a positive fix, but...
Oh, that's not good.
It has to be the road, because we went through the road valley. Pretty hard with all these bikes around.
So Taco resorted to his MacGyver role, and I played... What was that guy? Devon.
This compass might be bugged as well.
Great.
Well, it's had a lot of vibration.
Try your watch.
Yeah, I'm going to cross-reference it with the watch. See, that's what I like to do by the mountains, and if we stay between these ranges, then we should be fine. So you're always wondering what I'm doing. I'm trying to get a bearing or a heading. I never really understand what the two is. So we want to go 120 degrees east.
Now, just for the viewers at home, you have to hold the camera on little old me for a minute. Now, you might all be thinking I'm a bit pants and just sitting out back going, Taco, where are we? But I did actually use the GPS and the little measuring up bits. And I did actually, for us, pinpoint our location on the map. And that is what Taco is working from now. It's not just that I'm the camerawoman. Sometimes I can be useful and I can sometimes navigate.
You just had to say that, didn't you?
I had to, because I look like this pants girl that's going, Taco, where are we? What will we do?
That's the sign. This is the road. But we're here. And that's the road.
So point to where we are again?
Where that little dot is.
Right, and at that little dot we have a road sign indicating that we are on the correct road in the correct location.
Yeah.
But the road is where?
Just a few kilometres south.
Several kilometres south even. Well, it's good to know. It's good to know that our Mongolian map is very reliable.
Near enough.
Another day, another camel chase, followed by a cuppa.
What's going on, matey?
We're in a roadside gear. Actually, gears. There's two. They combine two. Normally there's a big stove in the middle. That's where then the pipe goes through. But I think they're doing that in the other one. They're drying the meat. They use this one as like a restaurant cafe.
Guans.
Guans, as it's called in Mongolian. Thanks for correcting me, man. And then they have the second one. I think that's where they live.
It's lovely, isn't it?
Yeah, they got solar power as well. They're quite modern now. They got telly and everything. Car battery, obviously. But yeah, they gave us some hot noodles.
And some coffee.
And some coffee. Well, we've used, I don't know, 16 or 17 pegs on this thing. Because there's a bit of a storm coming and I think it might be quite windy tonight. Last night it was quite windy and 2 nights ago I had to go out in the middle of the night to peg it in. Because I kept getting blown up. So now we've used every available spot to put a peg in. We've used it. We put the guy wires on. There's little loops on the bottom. We put some rope on there and pegged that up. I don't think this tent's going anywhere.
The wild man of tent pegging was right. The tent did not go anywhere. In fact, the storm blew over without giving us any dramas. Sadly, the same could not be said for the next day's storm. This flash flood didn't really bother Taco, but it terrified the living crap out of me.
All that from a little bit of hail, and I'm puffing from the terror of trying to get that bike through there and bloody having to push it up off one leg when you nearly slip. But I made it! Yay!
This elation was short-lived when we discovered just how glutinous the mud was.
Right, now you hold it because you're better at that. Ready? Just had a shower like 3 hours ago, the first shower in 12 days. And look at me. And I wanted to ride my bike out, but no, Jack wanted to ride it because he knew what was going to happen to the pusher. You'll get mud all over your jacket.
That's alright. Luckily it's on your face.
Oh, only. Well.
That was just the start of a fantastic afternoon of muddy frolic.
Series of consecutive recoveries and was convinced I had it until I hit another slopey bit and stacked it. And here we are. This is all out of this region of my poor bike, which can't really go anywhere at the moment because it has no tread, because the wheel is actually just mud. Wheels are, oh good God.
Given the raging success of our last river crossing, we were filled with excitement when we saw this mighty beast before us. We took stock and observed the large truck, and then the smaller cars, all going well up past their wheels. That's when we started to panic.
Look how deep it is on that side.
We put it off as long as we could, but eventually we just had to make that crossing. I mean, how wrong could it go, right? Cha-ching! To the Team Blonde.
Just
Our dirt riding skills improved every day. We really enjoyed it, but we were quite disappointed when the car started again.
There were times when we thought that those lumpy roads were never going to end, but before we knew it, we were on smooth tarmac and Ulaanbaatar was in our sights. Oh, bring on coffee. The thought of a shower, a bed, and Russian MTV was all too exciting for this duo as they zipped through the busy metropolitan traffic. We found very possibly the best value guest house in all of UB, named after Chinggis, of course, and settled in for a cruisy city break. Toilet. UB's not quite the sleepy old town of times gone by. It's full of shiny cars, tourists, and many cafes and pubs.
How you doing?
Alright. As it turns out, we're going to have to fly the bikes to Australia. It's going to cost about $3,000 because the Chinese, they bounce everybody back with motorbikes. Even if you smuggle them over here, it's been done to that. So there's only one option, and for a pretty good flight, $450 each, we can fly to Bali. Bali! Thanks. And then from there we might be able to pick up a cheapo to Brisbane and then go back to work.
So we explored shipping agents and cargo forwarders and came to the realization that that just wasn't actually going to work. We needed plan B. Enter our 4 moto friends from Kazakhstan. Remember them? So plan B fast became getting a Russian visa and teaming up with these 4 adventurers to get to Vladivostok and share their 20-foot shipping container all the way home to Bruce Vegas. Taco, being a history fiend, got engrossed in this lovely statue of Sukbata astride his faithful steed. Marzi, being a vodka fiend, got engrossed in this Irish pub. Lest we forget the omnipresent Lenin. After several days of deliberation, those crazy Russians gave us another set of visas and we were off to Russia again.
Waste your time, 'cause the boy's bad news. Just leave him alone, 'cause the boy's bad news.
Absolutely freezing. I've got my kidney belt on because my tummy's so cold.
So it's out with the heated gloves and the heated vest? Lovely.
And it's the 6th of September maybe, so in the Northern Hemisphere it's technically still summer, but in Siberia I think they have their own weather.
I think it peaked at 15 degrees yesterday.
It was an exciting moment.
That was alright, eh? That was not too cold. But when the wind's on you, it's pretty cold, isn't it?
Very, very cold. It's awfully cold today. We're in Russia's far east. sucking on a hot cup of tea. And if it's cold when we're standing here and I'm all huddled up, imagine what it's like at 100 kilometres an hour with the wind whipping around you. And it's still officially summer because it's only early September.
As we bellyached about being chilly on our motorbikes on our little adventure, we looked at families whose sole mode of transport was a motorcycle and sidecar and wondered what that was like in the middle of winter in Siberia. Which made for good inspiration to stop our whinging, jump back on the bikes and cover a few more kilometres for the day.
You look a bit warm today, Matt.
It's a beautiful summer's day here in Siberia after yesterday's absolute freezing, gloves and electric gloves and everything. It's gorgeous, gorgeous day. It's 5:15 in the afternoon and it's still balmy and it's quite easy to ride in a t-shirt and jacket. So Siberia extremes day to day.
Coming around a corner before, just not far from here, and there was a bit of a pothole on the edge of the road where I normally drive, and again, brand new caliper bracket, busted again. It's loose, it's all busted. There's a mark here. I think that was an old one, or maybe that one, I'm not sure, from Kazakhstan. There's a couple of dents here. But that has to be taken care of in Oz, eh? We got 4,000 kilometres to do things like that still, I think, to Vladivostok. And some of it is bad road, gravel road, still rideable though. But I'm going to have to do the whole thing without a rear brake. And have a rear brake caliper bracket sent to Melbourne so I can at least ride through Australia. But that's a massive flaw in the design as far as I'm concerned. I think in Oz I'm going to have that whole thing tapped in and have an arc sort of bracket over it to protect it, because it's just a massive design flaw, I can't believe it. Second time this trip.
Do you ever feel like you're lying from the start? I do. And you twist and turn, so that's a fucking more, and I say. Do you ever feel like you've broken someone's heart? Made in Manhattan. My friends are getting drunk. I think they're drunk for what? Things are so much better when we were young. I never meant to hurt you. You never knew I didn't love you. I hope you're fine. The fault is mine. I'm just sorry that I'm such a typical man. Do you ever feel like you've broken someone's heart? I do.
Being civil engineers, we were somewhat geekily excited by this fantastic road construction zone. It went for hundreds of kilometres with lots of monster trucks and lots of dirt. How happy were we? And wait till you check out the culverts.
Well, finally we're starting to see some sun again. we got rained in. We stayed at the last campsite, I think, until about 5 o'clock, sorry. And we decided to go riding because it was a little bit dry.
But then it started raining again. Luckily we had all the stuff packed up, but we were sitting on the bikes getting drenched. And this is the only town, which is a tiny town. It doesn't have a restaurant or a cafe or anything, just a shop. And in the rain we had to put up this tent and make instant noodles.
How many kilometres did we get in our about 3 hours riding?
3 hours riding, I think we did about 60 kilometres. So this all sounds a lot better from sitting on your couch, but when you're actually in the misery of the rain on a cold motorbike,
on a cold Siberian day.
In a cold Siberian day, it actually isn't much fun. So we're stoked now that it's sunshine. We can get some proper riding done. Also, I've got all new front brake, and I've got a road tyre on the front, which means I got no braking ability at all. I keep sliding and slipping everywhere because it all turns to mud because we ride in a construction zone. So that's why we didn't get any footage of that, unfortunately.
Road tyre, mud puddles, both of which look quite innocuous on a sunny day. Off we set, chasing sunshine and Vladivostok. The kilometres couldn't get covered fast enough.
We were now in the area that used to be called the Zilov Gap, because there was never any road here. But with the Cold War finished, linking up East Asia with Moscow became a priority.
As we rode the seemingly endless kilometres to Vladivostok, we had the constant company of the Japanese import vehicles being driven westwards towards cities, money and purchases.
Now this is my old tyre, which as you can see, worn pretty thin, but we're holding on to that one, because Marzi might need that one, considering hers is getting thin. It's looking pretty good for the next 3,500 kilometres.
The routine of riding the roadworks, camping in a frost-covered tent, and passing these Japanese imports was becoming quite comfortable. Though those imports were starting to look increasingly dishevelled with erratic driving.
Got hit by a car. Mum didn't buy you a drum kit?
Bikey proved his resilience by starting despite a mangled front end, and we limped back to Tigda to regroup.
Morale's pretty low at the moment. I'm smiling, I don't really feel very happy. This bike's totally not safe to move anymore. The whole front end's sort of twisted, so now all has to be straightened out. The whole front fairing is busted, the front frame's busted. The only thing working is the lighting unit. Luckily though, there was one plus point. We crashed near a little town that has a train station. And apparently this train station takes cargo, so we're here. No, but it's not open yet, so we have to wait for half an hour or so until the lady behind the ticket office is, or in the ticket office is ready to accept our money. The other thing is we might not have enough rubles, and this town is so small that there's no money changer. So it'll be interesting to see what's going to happen.
Countless times on this trip we've experienced great human kindness, and this was just another example of that. The town's English teacher, Valentina, took us into her home and looked after us. She brokered a black market money deal, fed us and gave us somewhere to rest up.
These crates for putting on the boat, man. Oh, there's puppies.
and arranged shipping crates for the bikes, but that was just the start. The train company had insisted that the bikes must be crated to be transported. But when we got them there in their crates, they decided that what they really wanted was standalone bikes. You can imagine how that went. Once we got the crated bikes to the train station, the real fun and games started.
Oh dear God. 87 kilograms.
A typically officious Russian train wardenette was determined to make our life difficult, despite Valentina's best efforts to help us along. Not even buying our tickets was going to run smoothly, but eventually Valentina managed to sort it out. The bikes needed to be craned off the truck, below high voltage power lines. Fortunately, our crane operator was quite skillful.
We got a couple of local boys to help out by offering them some vodka.
Having got the bike safely on the freight train, now it was our turn to wait and wait and wait for the passenger train. The upside of bureaucracy is that timetables tend to be quite reliable, even if they do run on Moscow time. Armed with salami and 3-in-1 coffee mix, we settled into our digs for the next couple of days. Vladivostok, here we come.
Just a #1 champion sound, a style we about to get down. The hottest in the world right now, just touchdown in London. But they give me a pound, and I put the money in my hand right now. Set up a motor, we need more seats. We just sold out all the floor seats.
Take me on a trip, I'd like to go someday. Take me to New York, I'd love to see LA. I really want to come pick you with you. You'll be my American boy. He said, hey sister, it's really, really nice to meet ya. I just met this 5'7" guy who's just my type. Like the way he's speaking, his confidence is peaking.
Vlad, as we now fondly know it, welcomed us with open arms, as did our Aussie mates from Kazakhstan. Remember them?
Thanks again for footage of you last time.
There we are, sitting here till 3 o'clock in the morning.
Hi, Mom!
Waiting to unload their bloody bikes.
Sweat and tears.
Their bikes.
I think we're actually going to be friends after this.
It's alright, we'll be saving them $500 American.
Yeah, we bailed them up for a midnight train heist. We had to somehow get the bikes off the train, right?
Can anybody spit on them or something?
We had tried to arrange to get our bikes back the legal way, but apparently that just wasn't going to happen.
No, the door's open.
And it's not really our fault if the train guard was passed out from too much vodka.
2, 3.
We've got to push now.
Oh, man's got the heavier bike. Man's you've got the heavier bike the whole trip.
Really?
Ready? Okay, it's off.
Through this, mister.
The great train robber.
The great train robber in Russia.
Right, all left together. Straight out.
You can probably give the guy a heart attack tomorrow if you come back and...
Slowly. There you go. Ronald Biggs and Ronald Biggett. Great train robber. Is it Mars can't close the door?
Something there that's stopping it. You've got, it's obviously a
Oh, it's a latch. Just bust that down.
You need to push it down or... There we go.
Have fun.
Alright. А, там же южное полушарие.
Busting them out was one thing. Negotiating storage was a little bit more tricky.
He's got poo on his head.
Our ever-growing team was adopted by a friendly Siberian biker who hooked us up with a shipping company and some good old-fashioned Russian hospitality. Translation, vodka. So we got our hands on a 20-foot shipping container, Brisbane-bound, which had to be paid for in cash, American dollars. Apparently the Russians aren't so fond of their rubla. We managed to track down Air Korea in the Hyundai building. Where else?
Right now.
Armed with a one-way flight home via Bali, we hit the streets of Vladivostok for a few last hurrahs.
After a few days of hanging out in Vladivostok, we were pretty keen when the boat finally arrived.
It took a few hours, but 5 of us and half a dozen Russians eventually got 5 bikes into the shipping crate. There was a slight technical hitch with the customs officer, but he seemed to get bored of us and left us alone eventually. With the babies safely tucked away for their 3-month journey by sea, we were off to Korea. Land of shiny buildings, shiny Hyundais, and cracking tabletop barbecue. After a funky stopover in Seoul, we were Bali bound for a short surf trip before hitting the office again.
Bali was paradise compared to the Russian crappy flea-infested hotels we just left behind.
Being itinerant, it was only a few days before we were ready to move on, back to the Goldie to start this whole process again.
So where next? Well,